You have to grow through what you go through.
What is up, family? Welcome into another edition of Make Every Second Count Live with me, your host, an international award-winning Make Every Second Count speaker. Now, each and every time I say that, it's like, wow, I cannot even believe where I am today. But I want to tell you this. So, we're actually season 10, episode 35. What? 35 episodes? That's nuts to me. But I ask you guys if you would please share this episode out. Invite people to watch it. Heck, you can just tag people in the comments. I don't mind. Just help us get the word out there. Also, keep the thumbs up, the hearts, the frowning faces, cry faces. You can even get mad at this. I don't mind. Just help us trick the algorithm on one of the socials that we're on. And then please keep the comments coming too. We want to have more of a conversation than just make a presentation. But with no further ado, I would like to bring Miss Anne to the stage. Hello, Anne. How are you doing?
Hello, Jeff. I'm doing great. Thank you for the invite.
Yes, I thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy evening to be here with me and my peeps. I definitely appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much.
So if you would like to go through a short introduction about yourself, tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and what you do. I'm going to be inviting a few people on my phone. So if I'm looking down, I am paying attention.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
So my name is Anne Alvares. I am a parent coach, an author, an educator, and the mother of two. One is age 16 and one is age 26. So, yeah, I know, right?
you don't look old enough to have a 26-year-old.
I know, everybody's shocked, but I do. I have a 26-year-old.
That is nuts to me. You must take really good care of yourself. So
thank you.
Yes,
I do try.
Well, I am really, really proud of you for that because I know how difficult that is to do because I try to do some of it as well. But I would like to take a second here and say hello to Ben Bruce. He is actually from Nigeria, but he is watching us from the Seychelles in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Wow. And then we have Robert Brooker, who is in your land up north of the border. So he's from Robert. Canada too. So these two are both loyal followers of the show. We thank you guys so much for watching with me tonight. And I'm sure Anne appreciates it as well. But I know from my own personal experience, you see, I was in a severe car accident when I was 17. I spent 2.5 months in a coma and 3.5 in the hospital. I had to relearn to walk, talk, eat, and drink after they told me that might not be possible. And I have discovered that we have to learn some things, that things don't just happen to us, but they happen for us. Yes. And they're only meant to teach us a lesson. And unless we get that lesson, we are going to keep repeating those cycles over and over. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to go out and get in another car accident if I didn't learn a lesson that it was trying to teach me. But I am going to experience some things that are kind of similar. And
Yes.
I've learned that everyone out there goes through things in life. So, has there been anything that you have had to grow through?
Absolutely. I've had to grow through a lot in my life, starting from childhood. I came from a dysfunctional, abusive, traumatic home life. And it took me a while to understand that I had been living in a very unhealthy home throughout my childhood. And it took me like my adult years, honestly, really to work on the healing of that pain. So that, I mean, starting off, that was like a huge um, obstacle to overcome.
Yeah, and I have noticed that people tend to think that the way they start is going to determine their life, and it's going to make up everything that they go through later in life. But what did you find as you went on with life after not having the greatest of starts?
Well, I had to discover a few things about myself. Um, and one of them was that I have a voice and my voice matters. Because growing up, I didn't feel like I had a voice and my opinion didn't matter to my parents. And so it took me a while before I could actually voice my opinions and listen to my own voice, you know? And I think many people can relate if you grew up with very controlling parents that did not give you the opportunity to express your opinions because they were the boss and you just had to listen, then you might be able to relate to my story. Because when we grow up with parents like that, very controlling parents that don't listen to us, then in our adult lives, we think that we don't have a say or that our opinion doesn't matter. And I'm here to say it does. It actually does matter. And so you can grow out of that kind of thinking once you recognize that that was a message from your childhood, but you're not that child anymore. You know, you're an adult now. So you get to choose.
Yeah, that's cool. So I all right. So I really do like that perspective that you get to choose. And because I have, let's see if I can find it here. I have a picture that I like to show that this is about life. And you notice how they're both in the same situation.
Mm-hmm.
But the one guy sees the bars while the other guy sees the beauty behind the bars.
Yes.
But the bars are still there. So
Mm-hmm.
why is it different for each one? They get to choose, right?
Absolutely.
So that's how you overcame all these struggles from your initial start.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So I know we're going to be doing this show a little differently tonight. And we're going to be talking about helping children overcome whatever they have faced.
Mm.
So when I am saying help them overcome, what are what is it generally that you help kids overcome?
Well, I was a high school counselor for over 17 years. And so I'm very good
Wow.
at, yes, yes. It was really my dream job before I became a parent coach. And I realized that there is a way to talk to kids. I guess this is why I have this passion for parent coaching, because I learned in my counseling that there's a way to listen and talk to kids that can make an impact in their lives. And when you learn this as a parent, you can make a huge difference in your kid's life. And one of the starting ways is just to listen. Listen without judgment, listen without input, listen without trying to solve the problem. Just listen. That is a huge skill in any relationship, but it is super important in our parenting journey because our kids need to voice whatever they're worried about, whatever they're struggling with. They need to be able to voice it, and we are their safe people to voice it with. And then once they have voiced it, then we can provide empathy, understanding, right? So I teach parents to use a feeling statement. Like, I understand how frustrating that must have been, or that must have been hard for you, or I see why you're struggling. I get it, right? Because that actually builds connection, and it helps our children to feel like they're being heard, which is really, really important. So we don't move to problem solving right away. We listen, we hear, we show support, empathy towards them. And then once everything has been expressed, then we can move to the problem solving. And I always say to parents that when we invite problem solving, when we invite our kids into the problem solving, it helps them. So we say, what would make things better for you? How could things be better? And what can I do to help you?
Wow.
Right?
See, now that I like that. That involves the other person. And once you involve that other person, they take ownership in that, I believe. I don't really know, but that's my initial thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Everybody wants to be invited in, right? They don't want to be told what to do. But I think traditionally parents have been conditioned to believe that they're supposed to tell their child that they know better than their child. And so they need to direct and tell. But I'm saying, actually, it's not a healthy relationship to always be told what to do or to have someone always direct you. And we don't want to teach our kids that that's a healthy relationship, because they will mirror that in their adult lives by having partners that are controlling of them. So we are their first relationship. So we have to be the ones to demonstrate this is a healthy relationship. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to know what you think. That's a healthy relationship, not directing and trying to control all the time.
Wow. So that is really powerful. I'm thinking, like, so when I go into schools and I speak to students, how could I involve them? And I'm not meaning to try to use this episode for my own benefit, but I kind of am at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
How could I bring them in so they can see whatever a way they can solve their own issue?
I think it's important to ask, to always ask. Here's the thing. Questions invite conversation, invite connection, right? Instead of telling. So using a question is always helpful. So when you're working with kids, you can say, what do you think is good about this? What do you think is bad about this? Or do you think this is healthy? Do you think this is good? Like asking the questions involves helps the person to be involved, right? And then when they're involved, then they take ownership, because now the idea came from them, right?
Yeah.
You just helped to get it out. You just helped for them to see it, but the idea came from them. I'm going to work on my homework better, or I wasn't happy with my test, so I'm going to study a little harder next time. But if we get mad at them and we say, you didn't study for the test, now you're grounded, then there's no opportunity for that child to take ownership and to learn from it. And that's what we should be doing as adults in their lives, is helping them to take ownership and to learn the lesson, not shame them, because we all make mistakes. They're learning. They're in the process of learning. We're all in the process of learning.
Like that. So let's say that we have, we don't really, but let's say we have a kid in the audience, or a child, or a youth, or however you want to refer to them, but a young person, we'll say that. And they're going through some kind of health issue that is making it extremely difficult for them to walk. Mm-hmm. How can they overcome that?
Okay, so this is like the medical part, right? But I'm going to talk on the mind part.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me say first of all that, guys, we're not doctors.
No, we're not.
If you're suffering from something where you're an ailment that is causing it to be extremely difficult to walk, or anything like that, seek medical help. Don't just go by what we say. I just had to say that so neither one of us could get sued.
Very good. So I always relate things to how I would speak to my child, and if it was my child, right? So I would say, honey, I know it's hard right now. Like, you're struggling walking, and I feel your pain. I understand. But now is not forever. And every time you try, every time you make it is an opportunity to celebrate, is a successful moment. And I want you just to focus on doing a little bit each day to get better.
One thing that I learned that I used when I was in the hospital and I was still riding a wheelchair, there was no sight of me walking without a walker yet or anything, but I had to learn to celebrate other people's success until my success started kicking in. Yes. And that helped me mentally, just because that gave me a boost of those happy chemicals that encouraged even more work from me and encouraged me to work even harder. And overall, the whole celebrating other people and celebrating their wins until my wins kicked in was something that was extremely beneficial to me.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah.
All right. So let's say that things are difficult because you just had a baby. Mm-hmm. And I know one person in our audience just had a kid.
Nice.
So I'm saying, what would you tell somebody that just had a kid and things might be difficult at the moment?
Yeah, I remember those days. I remember the baby days. They were hard, really hard, because your little one needs so much attention and your life revolves around them. Like, for the first 6 months a year, especially the first 3 months, they're the worst. Because they need you so much. And I think we're so at a disadvantage now because we used to raise our children in communities and now we don't. We are isolated, right? We don't get the help that we actually need. But but a mom needs help because she's recovering from the physical part, the emotional part, the hormonal, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting delivering, and then it's exhausting taking care of a child 24/7. So knowing what I know now, I would say to this young mom, you have to make time for self-care, and you need to get support, like your husband, your mother-in-law, your mother, your sister, whoever can help you, because you need to be able to rest to do this job. I always say self-care is mandatory in parenting. I don't care what age your children are. You have to take care of yourself, because honestly, what our kids need is a happy parent, a happy mother. And if you're not happy, if you're struggling, if you're exhausted, if you're stressed out, if you're overwhelmed, you are not going to be the best for your child. When you feel good, that's when you're going to give your best to your child. So you have to prioritize self-care and not self-sacrifice. Okay? A lot of moms self-sacrifice. No. Stop self-sacrificing, because it's actually not healthy for you or your child. You have to prioritize self-care. And then the moments that you feel good, you're going to parent so much better. So yeah, take naps. Like I took naps when my kids were little. I was like, mommy needs a nap. It's like, mommy needs a nap. Mommy's going to lie down. Let me put on Magic School Bus or something, right? And my kids are like, okay, mom. And I taught them that. And now both of my boys actually nap. They actually
I do too.
Yeah,
Don't tell. Everybody thinks I'm always go, go, go. But
no shame in napping, people. No shame. It's good for you.
I agree. And I know that my dad is watching as well, and he would agree too, because he loves his naps too. So yes. I'll say I get it from him.
Yes. I think because you're listening to your body, right? Like what I taught my kids at a young age is that your body will tell you what you need. Your body will tell you when you're hungry, when you're tired. Your job is to listen to your body. And so if you are tired, you can have a 15-20 minute nap. It's okay. Wow. Even longer. If you need it longer, you can have it longer. It's fine.
Yeah, I take longer naps. 15 minutes is all right. I mean, you don't wake up tired after a 15-minute nap. True. You feel refreshed.
You do.
But longer naps are much better.
I agree.
That's awesome, and I thank you for giving me permission to nap.
Absolutely. I'm giving everyone permission to nap.
So I do have another point to make with you, and follow it by a question.
Yes.
But I know that some people out there struggle with the support system. They don't have a big network of people around them. Like you were saying that her parents or his parents or anything. What if they don't have a network around them? They don't attend a church that has all that help.
Yeah. It's our job to get the help. I'm just going to say, we don't live in isolation, and we cannot isolate ourselves. And so I believe every parent should have a tribe, actually. I have a tribe because I'm a single parent. So my tribe are my youngest son's parents, friends, parents. And we got together during COVID 2020. We all became friends. We were the bubble. So we always did things together. And we've continued to do things together as our kids have grown up. And those are my people. and I am their people, right? I'm their person too. So we can call each other and say, can you pick up so-and-so, or I'll take so-and-so to summer school, or let's get together with all the kids, that sort of thing. And that really, really, really helps you a lot. But you have to invite people in. You have to be open to inviting people in. I remember with my oldest, there was a father. Again, I'm a single mom, and this father wanted to invite my son with his son, because they were friends, to go hiking and do all these kinds of things. And I didn't, yes, I was like, yes, please do, please take him, right? And because of those moments, my son is such an outdoorsy person. He loves hiking. He loves all these things. We have to let other people into our lives that we trust with our kids, because they can offer things to our kids that I'm not a hiker, okay? I can't offer that to my son. But he took my son on and gave him that experience a few times, and it stuck with my son. He developed this love for hiking and the outdoor life. So I'm saying to parents, we don't live in isolation. We live on a planet where there's many people and many good people. And we just have to allow people into our lives, right? You can start with, oh, let's have a play date. Or you can start with, let's go for coffee. Let's talk. You can initiate, but it's important to invite people into your life. Nobody should be lonely in their parenting,
Yeah. Wow. That's great advice. Now, I hope this person out there takes that advice, because I know they're in need and they could use that tribe. So I want to ask, do you have a book or a website or any contact information that you would like people to have?
Okay. So I just brought my book out, actually. I just wrote it this year. It's called Heal Your Childhood, A Guide to Reclaiming Your Worth, Voice, and Future. And it is really about the healing journey of your childhood. If you grew up with, and it doesn't have to be trauma and abuse. Like my story is extreme, okay? But it doesn't have to be extreme. It could be just that you experienced your grandmother's passing in your childhood, and you carried that grief because you were never really allowed to grieve it properly. Or maybe your parents had such high expectations of you, and so you never felt like what you did was enough. And so now in your adult life, you are a super achiever, right? You're like, you burn out because you're always trying to achieve. So childhood pain could be anything that you experienced in your childhood that you carried into your adult life. And I work with parents who have come through childhood pain, and they realize that it's showing up in their parenting with their children, and they don't want to carry that generationally. They want to break the cycle, and they want to be able to raise their children in a healthy way. So that's what I help parents with. I'm their mirror to show it's showing up in your parenting when you get offended, or when this happens, right? When there's showing emotions and you don't like it. That's when the childhood pain is showing up, because as a child, you weren't allowed to express emotions, that sort of thing. So that's my work with parents. I do coaching. I also have a parenting course that's 9 weeks that runs you through like from the beginning, why your childhood affects your parenting, etc., and some tools on how to build connection with your kids and how to problem solve with them. So yeah, I'm very, very excited about what I do.
Yeah. Now, where do people get a hold of these tools and courses and
Yeah.
books and
So,
whatever?
okay. So my website is annealvarez.com, Alvarez with an S, annealvarez.com. And my handle is Masterful Parenting. So I'm on Instagram, YouTube. I have a page on LinkedIn and Facebook, and TikTok now. I just incorporated
Ooh,
TikTok.
TikTok,
Yeah.
watch out.
Yeah.
She's getting all cool now.
Yeah. And I have a podcast also called Masterful Parenting. So parents, if you want to listen to my podcast, you can get lots of helpful tips.
Yeah, that sounds really good. We thank you for that. And if you can send me all that information like here soon, I will put it in the show notes.
Sounds
So
great.
people out there can get a hold of you and your book and your tools and all kinds of stuff, because you're a wealth of knowledge and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Jeff. I
Yes.
appreciate this time with you. Thank you so much.
I truly admire you and all that you do, because I know that the world really needs this stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so
But
much.
I need everybody out there, including you, Anne, to do me a favor this week, next week, and for the rest of your life.
What's that?
I need you to make every second count.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because you never know when those seconds are going to run out on your one
True.
life. That's all we get. I'll see you guys back here next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, you guys have a great week. Thank you again, Anne.
Thank
I'll
you.
talk to you soon.